Alrighty, welcome back to episode 2 of the hottest takes in country music. I'm not going to waste your time with a long intro. All I'm going to say is all of these hot takes were taken from my Instagram, which you can follow at over.shore. I threw a questionnaire up the other day where you could have dropped a hot take. However, if at any time you think of one you want to send my way, feel free to DM me. I'll be sure to check it out and add it to my list. Jumping right in, first one's from JJ Kozlik. Grady Smith is the only good country artist. He's definitely a level above. Next, I got one from Kaysen. Florida Georgia Line's non-radio songs like Smoke are better than any mainstream they've had. I don't think this is as much of a hot take as it is a fact. Florida Georgia Line do get a lot of heat, and though a good chunk of it is deserved, I was surprised, and I think you would too, when I started digging deeper into their catalog. They have some really great album cuts that don't get the spotlight they deserve. Songs like While He's Still Around, Told You, Blessings is another gem, but I forget if it was released to radio. Somebody remind me in the comments. But yeah, Florida Georgia Line, despite having numerous duds, have lots of great songs that just kind of get swept under the carpet. But overall, yes, I agree. This next one's coming by way of Luke Bernard Music. I really like Jason Aldean's last 3 albums despite his change to pop, some real bangers on them. I would have to agree with a decent chunk of this. On the whole, I was not a fan of any of Jason Aldean's latest albums, but there are some great tracks that just get brushed over because they get caught up in this storm of minor key, electric guitar, boot stomping Jason Aldean songs. For example, I still frequently listen to You Make It Easy and Rearview Town. I really enjoyed and wouldn't even call it guilty pleasure. I think it's just a great tune. Jason really shifted into a poppier sound with his latest LP 9, but it worked on some tracks. I absolutely love the smooth sound and wordplay in I Don't Drink Anymore, one of, if not my favorite from the entire project, so I would disagree with you in the sense that I personally have not been a fan of Jason Aldean lately. However, I think you're fully correct in saying there are some bangers, and though the change to a poppier sound brought loads of tracks that felt impersonal or industrially manufactured, there are definitely some good songs scattered throughout. Jamie Halloran says, some of Luke Combs' music is bro country. I understand where you're coming from. There are numerous Luke Combs tracks that aren't 100% bro country, but definitely tap into that subgenre at times, and just in general have that style, but I think it gets balanced out when A, it's paired with a great instrumental and better, more interesting vocal performances, and B, surrounded by deeper, generally stronger tracks. It doesn't end up feeling shallow or bro as much as it does just a fun track to play on the back porch. Alrighty, I got 2 great ones to end it off. First one is coming from CM Bates 04. Luke Bryan's new album is actually a good album with some really good songs in there. I 100% agree. Please, if you wrote this album off just because it was Luke Bryan, do yourself a favor, give it a listen. It's not too late to give it a chance. I must say I detest One Margarita, and honestly that's largely due to whatever vocal effects they put over Luke's voice. I can't stand to listen to it. Also, Knockin' Boots was at most decent until the radio found it and butchered it. Born Here, Live Here, Die Here broke even for me, but other than that, I think this was a fantastic album. What She Wants Tonight is definitely one of my biggest guilty pleasures from this year. I think it has a great groove, bluesy sound to it, despite utilizing a very overdone style, and it in some ways goes against the general flow of the album. But some of my favorite tracks from 2020 have come from the back half of this album. I've already mentioned my love for A Little Less Broken. I think Too Drunk to Drive is a great, upbeat, fun song that was done in a very tasteful fashion. For a Boat is a super, super sweet song, followed by Where Are We Going? Which, again, I don't know what to say other than it's a solid track. Production, lyrics, and songwriting, it's just all there on a lot of these tracks. The songwriting really takes the spotlight on the track Build Me a Daddy, where it's this kid going to a toy shop asking the guy, hey, you're pretty good at making things, could you build me a daddy? It's a tearjerker, it's beautiful, and even the album closer Down to One, though poppier in its nature, I think it's still really well done. That's just the overall story of this album, minus a few tracks. It's just well done. I think you'll be really surprised if you give this album a shot. Honestly, if you get rid of One Margarita and maybe revise Knockin' Boots, you're genuinely looking at an 8 or 9 from me. However, as it is, I would give this album a 6 or 7. Alrighty. Got a big one to end it off from Bryson Looney. Artists are about to start copying the Luke Combs sound, which will save mainstream country. Right off the bat, I think I have to disagree with you here. I'm not saying Luke Combs doesn't have a great sound that has been a real monster in this recent push towards traditional instrumentation, but let's dissect this a little bit. You can sort of break down the last decade of country music and find certain trends or eras. For example, in 2017 and 2018, everything coming out of Nashville and the big labels had a snap or clap on beats 2 and 4 with simple guitar picking that made it classifiable as country. I believe it was Grady Smith who said it's like going into an ice cream shop, but the only available flavor is vanilla. You can even take the more recent trend in boyfriend country. Now, though a good chunk of the boyfriend country issue was to do with the lyrics and songwriting, there's definitely a distinct sound that goes along with the trend. However, the big difference between boyfriend and Snaptrack era is that the boyfriend country actually had a good sound. It was these nice acoustic ballads where they decided to put the drums away for a minute and just give these really soulful deliveries over nice, airy tracks. We got some real nice instrumentation on them. But when every single song out there is an acoustic ballad, it gets repetitive and, in turn, disliked overall. So even if chocolate's a great flavor, it gets boring when it's the only option. And this is what I think would happen if everyone copied Luke's sound. Luke has a phenomenal sound with his throwback Brooks and Dunn vibes, big organic drums topped off with these huge, raspy, belting vocals. But that's his sound. It's unique to him. Nobody is making music like Luke Combs. If everyone started copying his sound, we would run into the exact same issue. It would become its own trend, the Luke country era. And I bet a lot of people would start disliking it because that's all that would be available. Overall, copying Luke Combs' sound won't save country music. Diversity will. Alright, so that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, follow me at over.shore if you want to send in a hot take, or if you would just want to be a part of future videos. I throw a lot of questionnaires up and polls, so you actually kind of have say in what goes on in the channel. So if you want to be a part of that, be sure to follow me. Keep an eye out for future hot take episodes. I have so many lined up, and I have some really hot takes ready for future episodes, some that may even warrant their own video entirely, so keep your eyes open for that. Other than that, I think I've said everything I needed to say, and yeah, have a great day.